Hi, everyone, and welcome back to She Plays the Podcast. I am super excited to be joined today by Catherine Breed, a marathon swimmer. I'm very excited to dive into all of that, no pun intended. So thanks so much, Catherine, for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Ashley. I'm excited to talk a little bit about my background and where I am right now with my swimming.
Yeah, I mean, it's so amazing to me. I love learning more about these kind of ultra sports, like ultra running. You're essentially, I guess, ultra swimming, marathon swimming. But yeah, tell us a little bit about, I know you went to Berkeley, but a little bit about your history, background, and then we'll get into, what you're doing.
Yeah, so my background, I've been swimming since I was 4 years old. I grew up in the Bay Area, so my weekends with my family was sailing in the Bay. When I was 9, I asked my mom if I could swim year round, and she's like, sure, absolutely. So that kind of started this swimming journey for me. I went to UC Berkeley, so I was on the team for 4 years, graduated in 2015. During my time there, we won 2 NCAA championships, and I went to Olympic trials in 2008 and 2012. Uh, I competed on at the Pan American Games for the USA team, and I was on the US national team. So had a pretty robust pool career, but when that was over, I wasn't ready to hang up my suit. I didn't want to race anymore, but I still wanted to be in the water because I really love being in the ocean, being in the water. So my friend introduced me to the Dolphin Club, which is my local open water swimming club in San Francisco. And I loved it. I was having so much fun. The community was incredible. So people noticed I was pretty good at it. They're like, wait, you're kind of fast and you're not getting cold. So you should set bigger goals for yourself. So they're like, you've got to do the English Channel. And I was like, absolutely not. I can't swim 21 miles. Are you crazy? But a little bit more encouragement, and I decided to do Lake Tahoe, 21 miles in 2017, and that was my first marathon swim, and I set the record in that one, so I felt like that kind of just set the tone for my open water swimming career.
Yeah, which was 44 kilometers, 44.2 kilometers, Lake Tahoe, and you did it in 8 hours, 56 minutes, which is insane.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think I had read an interview where your coach at UC Berkeley had some open water training. Had you done, I mean, was that a part of your regimen then?
So Terry McKeever is a coach at Cal, and she's one of the top coaches in the world. So I feel so fortunate to have been able to swim under her. But she integrated a lot of open water swimming, but not in the sense of like what I'm doing now. It was more of like body surfing. So our workouts, we'd go body surfing, or it'd be like swim from the shore, make a box, come back into the beach and do dry land. So we had a lot of like natural body movements just by playing in the ocean. And she also encouraged us, like one of her biggest mantras was for us to be strong women first. And if we're strong women and having fun in the water, then we're going to swim fast. So, at the end of practice, sometimes she'd be like, all right, 5 minutes, go be a sea animal, and it's like, we're 20-year-old like college students, and we're like, all right, I'm going to go be a sea turtle and float on my back for 5 minutes because that's what I want to do. Or sometimes they'd be like, all right, I'm going to be a dolphin. But it was always just like enjoyable and fun. So I think that's translated well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I'm curious, because what had been the most you'd ever swum before in like one go?
Yeah, so when I was an age group swimmer, I did a 5K, so 3 miles, and I got out of the water and I think I like threw my cap at my mom, and I'm like, I'm never doing this again. Oh man. But so that was probably like, my first open water experience. And then when I was playing with the idea of doing Lake Tahoe and the English Channel, I actually did a 12-mile swim just to see if I could do it. And it took about 5 hours. And I was like, that wasn't so bad. Okay, if I can do 12 miles, I can do 20, maybe.
Well, in the training, because like for marathon training, you know, a lot of people, at least maybe it's just for beginners, you're not supposed to run the full 26 in training. You're supposed to just kind of lead up to it. And it can take months. I think I read for Tahoe, was it 10 months of training, something like that? Like almost a full year?
Yeah, Tahoe I trained really hard for because it was my first one. So I was training out of a place of fear. I was training out of a place of, I don't even know if I can finish this. So I probably overtrained for that one a little bit, but I mean, it paid off. So
Sure. Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
yeah, but now, no, I've never in practice done the full time or distance. Like before I did the North Channel, my longest swim was 8 hours, and I did about 17 or 18 miles. Before Monterey, I think the longest one I did before Monterey was like a 10-mile swim. Because I had such a base, because I've now been doing this for 3 years. So I have that base. So for me, I just have to ramp up my yardage per week before my swim. But I don't need to do the big training, 8-hour, 10-hour training sessions, because I have that in the bank.
Awesome. Yeah. And so just for myself and for any listeners who aren't familiar with marathon swimming or these kind of, you know, hours long sessions that you're doing, just some like logistical questions. Are you allowed to like hang on to the paddleboard? I mean, I want to hear about your team, like the team that helps make this possible. And then like, what are you allowed to do, not allowed to do to qualify, like it be an official thing?
Yeah, so that's always the question is, how do you take breaks? How do you eat? Um, Logistically, how swim work, you hire a boat. So on the boat, you'll have a pilot, a co-pilot, an observer, and someone helping with feeds. So that's someone that's going to give food to me. And then sometimes you have someone in the water. I have a prone paddler. A lot of people will use a kayaker. So that's kind of the logistical thing of it. For big swims like the English Channel or for Catalina, those ones that you hear about, you usually go through a federation and they'll ratify the swim. So that's kind of like the logisticals of how it works. Rules. So you're allowed to wear one bathing suit, just like a normal bathing suit. Doesn't matter how cold it is, it's all you can wear. One swimming cap and your goggles. You can have a shark band on you. You can put whatever kind of Vaseline, chafing, jellyfish stuff you want. And then you're allowed to wear one watch, but you can't have GPS running. So those are the rules. And then for eating, when I need to eat, I have this little water bottle that they'll put about 6 ounces of water in, and Infinite, which is a carb protein mix. They'll mix that up and they chuck that at me, and I'll just take it, drink it down as fast as I can. So 10 to 20 seconds, and I keep going.
Wow.
And that's kind of how it works. Yeah.
So you're
Sorry.
swimming or treading water. You're not touching any other surface.
No, you're not allowed to touch the boat or the kayaker.
Gosh,
Yeah.
10
Yeah.
hours. I can't even imagine. That is so amazing.
Oh, it's a long time.
I didn't realize too. I mean, I've seen it. I guess I should have put this, like made sense of this, that you're only allowed the swimsuit, not any kind of like neoprene or anything. Like, cause you're swimming in some cold, like you said, you've done Lake Tahoe, English Channel, North Channel, which is Northern Ireland to Scotland, right?
Yeah, 52 degrees. Yeah.
I mean, how does that even work? How do you not get hypothermia?
Yeah. It's funny that you said that you didn't put two and two together, because so many people saw the picture from my Monterey Bay swim, which is me coming out of the water in a bathing suit. And they're still like, wait, you didn't wear a wetsuit? I'm like, I didn't take the wetsuit off in the water. Like, no, that's what I swam in. So yeah, people don't, it's like hard to wrap your mind around. Like, I'm not wearing a wetsuit. So to build up for these swims, for the North Channel, I actually gained a little bit of weight just to like have some more insulation. For Monterey, I like went up a tiny bit in weight. But it's really time spent in the water. So I like to say your body's a tool and you can train it to do whatever you need it to do. and I need to train my body to swim in cold water. So before the North Channel, which is the coldest swim I've done, I was doing 2-hour swims in 48-degree water, or I was swimming without a cap when the water was getting warmer so that I would get colder. I wasn't taking hot showers. I was really trying to warm myself up naturally instead of using the sauna or the shower. So my body was so trained and acclimated to the cold that I actually finished that swim and I don't even think I was shivering when I got out. I'm also working really hard. So I think that's important to note is I'm not just floating in 52-degree water. I am pushing it in 52-degree water. If I was to just jump in that water and float, I would be cold in 30 minutes and need to get out.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true. You're working very
Yeah.
hard with, yeah. But that's crazy. So, oh man, yeah. So no hot showers, and I mean, it's true. Your body can adapt. It's an amazing thing. So that's very cool. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about Monterey. So, crossing Monterey Bay. When did you do it? And what was so cool is, I mean, the reason that I was picking up on it was you were doing it for a cause, which I think is so important. So, want to just talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I'd love to. So I decided to do Monterey Bay in around June and July. The swim was September 20th or 21st, something like that. And I wanted to raise awareness for diversity in aquatics. So it's been something that I've been dedicating a lot of my time to this year with everything going on, but going all the way back to me being 13 years old teaching swimming for the Special Olympics, it's always been important to me to get people in the water. And this year it just felt like this is what I should raise awareness for. This is what I want to raise money for. So Diversity in Aquatics is a network basically that will connect people to different aquatic activities, and it's to empower people to get in the ocean, get in the water, learn how to scuba dive, promote water safety. So it's a pretty awesome organization, and it's got like local groups and chapters, and you can sign up. So I think I just donated it all this morning, and it ended up being around $3,000. So it was pretty good, and I'm looking forward to maybe doing some clinics or something with them. But yeah, Monterey got a lot of attention, and I thought it was a great place to specifically bring awareness to this cause, because Monterey Bay, you've got Santa Cruz, Monterey, you've got every single water sport that people do going on in that bay. And aquatics isn't just about water safety. It is. It's about learning to swim so you're not, for drowning prevention. It's about water safety. But for me, aquatics is about the therapy of it. It's about the freedom. It's about the health benefits. So there's so much more at play than just drowning prevention. And I want people to feel empowered to explore all of that.
That's wonderful. That's so cool. And even that today was the day you turned in the money that you raised. That's awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely put links to Diversity in Aquatics and the show notes and everything. Everyone should check it out. I think it's a great cause. And like you said, there is something so therapeutic about being one with nature in such a powerful way. The ocean is so massive. It's just such a cool thing to, like, I don't know, just be in it, be a part of it. Yeah, I'm curious, is there anywhere in the world that you really want to challenge yourself or like compete in I don't know, they're not races, I guess. What are they? A challenge? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a challenge. Somewhere warm.
Yeah.
I think next year I'm entertaining New Zealand.
Oh.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna try to somehow make that work, that I can go down there and knock off 2 swims. I don't know, or Hawaii would be nice. It's hard because every swim's got its challenges. The warmer water ones, you've got a lot of sharks. You've got the cold ones, it's cold. There's jellyfish. So yeah, there's a lot of things out of my control with these swims that I have to take into account every time I'm training for one.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna ask, like, what's the hardest part, and I agree. Like, as I was reading, it's like, oh, just every one is different, because you said, jellyfish. I mean, I think I was reading part of your blog. It's like jellyfish hitting you in the face and like all these things. But then like I think your paddleboard teammate was wearing the shark
Yeah.
anklets thing. Yeah. Like what's been like the scariest moment you've had in a swim?
The scariest moment was during a training swim with him. We had a great white shark come up to us, but we were close to shore. And, at the end of the day, it's like, what am I going to do other than swim into shore? Like, I don't think he's going to bite me. I hope he doesn't. It was a baby one, so it was only 6 or 7 feet. But that was probably the most like adrenaline rush, that I've had swimming. Yeah, I mean, what's hard with these swims is you can train, I can train as hard as I can. I can give everything in my training, prepare, but marathon swimming, you're subject to Mother Nature.
Mm-hmm.
So Mother Nature could be, I fly over to Ireland and get in the water and there's lion's mane jellyfish everywhere and I just get stung the whole swim. Or it could be, I go down to Catalina and the waves are really bad. So then it's your choice of whether are you going to get in the water or not. I pretty much will always get in the water. But yeah, I mean, that's tough. It's a very different sport in that, if you're training for a marathon to run 26 miles in a road race, there's really not a lot of unknowns, right? You don't have like people chucking water balloons at you as you're running.
Right.
So with marathon swimming, you can train and do everything right and still get your butt handed to you by Mother Nature.
Absolutely. Well, and I thought it was cool too how, like in a marathon or whatever, you have like different water stations where you kind of know the mileage as you're running that they tell you. And I think I was reading in one of your posts about like you kind of were, okay, 7 more feeds, or you're counting down like your number of feeds till is that just how you kind of measure as you're in it, where you're at?
Yeah, so I have no idea where I am because I can't have GPS. So my crew gets to tell me how far I'm going, what speed I'm going, where I am. Sometimes crew members like to hide that information a little bit so that the swimmer doesn't get in their head, and it irks me because I'm like, just tell me exactly what's going on. It's kind of funny though, but yeah, so my crew members will tell me where I am, how much I have left, and I can kind of do some math in my head of, okay, how much more do I have to swim? So 7 more feeds, I think that would have been about 3.5 or 4 hours left of the swim. And I'm like, all right, this is I need to give everything I have for these last 4 hours or these last 3 hours, which is a long time to give everything you have after you've been swimming for 8 hours.
True. Yeah. Like what's the mental preparation? How do you mentally keep going? Is it just, I've done it before? I mean, now I'm sure Tahoe, that played a big role.
Yeah. The mental, I mean, with ultra endurance sports, I think mental is 75 or more percent of it. Physically, I think a lot of people can do ultra sports because we're all, human bodies can do that, but it's the mind, it's about overcoming that. So for me, I focus on getting to 4 hours, just really focused, present in the moment, get myself to 4 hours. Once I'm there, I'll take a minute break, maybe chat with my crew, see what's going on. I think the mental part for me is that in those swims, when you've got waves and chop and jellyfish, your demons are going to come up, like your inner demons, your inner self-doubt. That's really going to come up of, this is hard. I want to get out. Why am I doing this? And I mean, I pay for these swims. I'm not sponsored. So the why has to be, I want to be here. So for me, I address my demons. Sometimes I'll go through lists of everything in my life that I've done that's harder than what I'm doing in this moment, whether it's like emotionally or physically. And then a lot of times it's gratitude, thinking about all the people that got me to where I am today, all the women that have come before me and kind of broke the ceiling. So it's, I'm so for female and like women empowerment, because I think, by strengthening ourselves, we strengthen each other, and then we're strengthening each other, and then you strengthen more women in that way. So, we really are all in this together. So I think a lot about that when I'm swimming. And that helps with the mental part. But also, for me, I'm pretty tough, and I like to think, I'm not getting out of this water unless I'm being pulled out. So once I get in the water, I'm not getting out unless it's unsafe for my crew or something happens to me. Yeah.
I mean, I think it was maybe your most recent blog post, but where you mentioned, I think you were in a triathlon maybe with someone, which I love that team part.
Yeah.
You were talking about, like with each stroke, you were thinking of another person, another woman that inspired you that has gone before. Yeah. Who do you really admire or look up to?
Oh, gosh, I have so many incredible women that have really like encouraged me in my life. There was a doctor I was working for, Dr. Silkus, when I was in college. My college swim coach, this woman, Giselle Stickler, was like a second mom to me. I worked with her for a little bit. In the swimming community, it's, Jamie Monahan, Cindy Werheen, Amy Gubser, Hannah Meyer. There's so many. Like, I'm sorry if I forget anyone's name, but it's a very tight-knit community. So I think, I mean, oh my goodness, there's so many people out there. But yeah, I do swim with thinking of all of them.
Yeah, I thought that was beautiful what you put about what you're thinking of, and we'll share that if that's okay on a post, because I just thought it was so inspiring. And the last thing I did want to touch on too was like the community aspect, like you were saying, the Dolphin Club, but even just this community of women, and as well as getting to do activities or like challenges, races with friends, and like if you're taking the swim portion or whatever. I would love to just hear your thoughts on the community of that world.
Yeah, so I will say with the triathlon, so I had met James and Casey randomly in February on a ferry ride home, and there's a triathlon called the Uberman. So it's a 21-mile swim, 400-mile bike ride, 135-mile run. So James was our cyclist, Casey was the runner, I obviously swam. And that was the first like team event I've ever done, outside of college relays. And I loved it. I absolutely loved that I gave everything I had in the water and then turned around to being crew for the boys, and just was like in this totally selfless position of like, it doesn't matter how tired I am. My only job is to take care of them and to be in a good mood and to be happy. And I was like, okay, I can do this. So that was really fun. I think, that community I had with them is a lot of like marathon swimming, is that it's very selfless. When you're on the boat crewing for someone, sometimes you're getting paid if you're, the captains get paid, but if you're a crew or the feeder, you're not necessarily getting paid. So you're on the boat for 12 to 20 hours supporting the person in the water. And I love crewing. I know a lot of people do love it, but the thing about marathon swimming is it can be competitive and like, oh, who's going to do this swim first, or who's going to get more attention for this swim. And that part kind of bothers me, because I'm like, we're all out here, like we're competing with ourselves and working with Mother Nature. It's not a competition. But my favorite part about the community is, you're seeing each other at our most vulnerable. So we're cold. You're in this water. My lips get swollen from the salt. My tongue gets all messed up from the salt. My eyes are swollen. I have sunscreen everywhere. So people really are seeing me at my very, very worst. I'm tired. I've worked really hard. And I think when you're seeing someone in that state, giving everything they have, it's a very vulnerable place to be, and the masks are off. Who someone is going to appear in that moment. And I think because marathon swimmers get to see each other in that place often, we're very tight-knit. And I really love that. It's also a small community. I hope it becomes bigger, but everyone knows each other. So Yeah, I think community makes or breaks sports,
Mhm.
makes or breaks events. So that's, another reason why I'd love to see more people coming into it, because I do think that it's very inclusive, once you feel empowered to start doing it.
That's wonderful. Yeah, that's awesome. And just so, yeah, I think that community plays such a big role in sports and just in making us better people and making us better, to serve those around us. So I love that. I did that. Did just bring up one quick last question. Yeah, how long does it take after you get out of the water to like your body to like recoup?
Oh man, I would say probably like 3 to 4 days.
Wow.
I have a hard time eating for like 3 days after, and then after Monterey, I wasn't sleeping. I don't know why. I just really was like, I had a lot of going on in my mind about like how much attention that swim got, because I mean that was my 7th swim. No one's ever given me that much attention, so there was a lot of like anxiety with that. My tongue, the salt water really affects your tongue, so it was like kind of peeled off the top layer. I know it's really gross. But yeah, I mean, it's all of those things, the shoulder aches. So that usually takes 3 to 4 days, and then I'm like back to normal.
Man. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of crazy to hear about, because I've gotten to speak to 2 ultra runners and just kind of, yeah, like their feet, how long it takes after, they're done. It's just amazing that, yeah, your body can push to such limits, but then it does heal itself, thankfully. So
It's
I love
really
it.
cool.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for joining and chatting. I'm really excited for people to hear more about ultra swimming, and I'd love for you to tell folks where they can find you, follow you, any of that.
Yeah, so you can find me on Beyond the Black Line _ is my Instagram, and that's like the black line of a pool. Or my website is beyondtheblackline.com. And on there, you can donate to Diversity in Aquatics, or you can go to diversityaquatics.org and donate directly to them. But I'm active on social and my website, so I will always respond to you if you reach out.
Awesome. And do you have anything planned coming up? Anything that we
Oh,
could? No.
no, no.
Okay.
It feels so good to take a little break.
Hmm.
Next year, I'm thinking maybe fall next year, I'll have something lined up. But for now, I'm just thinking about what's next and enjoying my break.
Good. Awesome. Awesome. Well deserved. And just thanks again for taking the time. I'm really excited to chat with you and to follow along in the future.
Of course, thank you so much.